in the middle of the screen.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is Keith Valentine. I am the Pickleball Pirate, and welcome to the Pirate Talks. I got several of my cohorts with me. I've got Mark Napertovich, the Russian assassin.
The Russian assassin.
Yes, we got Joey, the gun show Lumiere. And, we're missing Dave. Dave is out actually playing pickleball for Father's Day. He said, forget you guys. I'm not doing an interview. I'm going to go play pickleball and have some beer. So
I say we kick him off. Kick him off the channel.
He's out of here. He's out of here.
But I'll just take the fourth spot.
There you go. Look, hey, you know what, guys?
Sorry, Dave.
We have a very, very special guest with us today. He needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway because he is the Golden Boy, Scott Golden. Let me just read a little bit of the stuff about you, Scott. I just can't wait to hear some of this. You're a 5-0 player. You're a PPIR certified pickleball instructor. You've competed in over 100 tournaments in the 5 years you've been playing. You won the 2019 gold medal at the Atlanta Open, and you played with the Baptiste, the unicorn. And you're a pickleball influencer. You're sponsored by Monarch Pickleball, Pickle Play, Tyrell Pickleball Shoes, Jigsaw Health, and Today in Pickleball. And you have your own signature paddle, bro. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Welcome.
And he commentates for the PPA. He did some big.
That was my next thing is like, hey, if you guys hear him talk, you're going to say, hey, I recognize that voice. That's because he's one of the commentators on the PPA, and he's wonderful at that. So welcome to the show, Scott.
Boy.
What's up, fellas? Yeah, when I hear you do that introduction, I'm like, who the hell is he talking about? That can't be me. I'm honored. I'm honored, you guys, to be on the show with you guys. The funny thing is, when I started hearing about the Pickleball Pirates, first of all, I didn't know there was 4 of you guys, and I didn't know that Keith was the lead. Joey posts so many Pickleball Pirate videos that I actually thought it was just Joey.
Joey does most of the work, Scott.
Yeah, Joey's the mule. What happened is that I started playing and recording the games, and then people started asking, hey, can I watch the recording? Can I watch the recording? So I was like, fine, yeah, I'll post it on my YouTube channel. I didn't think nothing of it. And then it just kind of evolved. Joey came around and started playing, and I'm like, man, I really like this guy. He's got a fun personality.
Keith had about 8 subscribers, and 5 of them were Valentine's.
My 5 kids, and then 3 other people that I bribed. And I said, you know what? I got some people asking to do this channel. Would you be interested? And Joey's like, man, I'm all about it. So he did a lot of the work. He got us on social media. He got the Facebook thing going.
But let's focus on Scott, Keith. Let's focus on the Golden Boy.
Okay. So back to the Golden Boy, man. What I like doing on these segments is really just the origin story, man. Like I went through this list of stuff. You've been playing for about 5 years now in 100 tournaments. So walk us back. Tell us a little bit of your history in sports and tell us how you found pickleball. What's your origin story there?
Well, first, before I get into that, I just want to say I hesitate to tell people I've been playing 5 years in over 100 tournaments because when they beat me, they're like, this guy's supposed to be like really good and
he is really good.
So
he's beaten me a lot.
Well, Joey and I have had some battles. I enjoy playing against Joey. And also Joey, when I first met him, I wasn't sure what to think of Joey. I thought he might beat me up, like if I, made a bad line
call
or
nicest
something.
Guys, though.
He is the nicest guy. He's super complimentary on the court. Now, Mark, when I first met Mark, I definitely didn't know what to do with Mark. His shots, my God, I'm like, this guy's doing something superhuman over here with this Electrum paddle. But I actually think certain players should be banned from using certain paddles, and I think the Electrum should not be allowed.
That wouldn't make your life any easier, I can tell.
I don't know. Some of the paddles that don't have grip on it, Mark, your backhand smash there is not nearly as dangerous.
Oh, no. For me, the only benefit of Electrum I can drive in tennis.
Yeah.
Everything else is doable with any other paddle. A drive like close in the paddle like this, it's only Electrum.
Well, whatever the hell you do with that paddle, it works. So keep doing it.
So 5 years ago, man, like what sports did you play? How did you find pickleball? Tell us.
Yeah. So growing up, I had 3 brothers, and I have a identical twin actually that plays pickleball also. He's not as good as I am. I'm not ashamed to say that. Because I did put the work in and he didn't. But I've got 3 brothers growing up. I have an older brother that's 2.5 years older, and I have a younger brother that's 7 years younger. first of all of us are super competitive. My dad's super competitive. Even my mom was like an all-county volleyball player in high school. I don't know what that really translates to, but she was a damn good mom too. So, but basically, we grew up playing baseball.
Okay.
From t-ball on. Mainly, I played baseball with me and my brothers. We did BMX also, which I thought was really fun. We did that for quite a while. But as I grew up, I realized that I enjoyed sports and I was competitive. In high school, I played basketball, baseball, and football. A little quick side story. I'm a $150 soaking wet. I'll never be as beefy and stout as Joey is.
It doesn't help me on the pickleball court, Scott. I'm telling you, man.
Hey, come on, Joey. You can smash it into the net just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You just do it a little bit faster.
If I keep smashing, I don't have to dink.
That's right. You and Ed and Lika are in a league of your own over there. But yeah, so like in high school, I played football and I really loved football. I loved the team aspect of it. But like I said, I'm a $150. I don't have a big frame, but I've got a huge heart and huge passion.
He does. He really does.
Yeah, like I've got a drive that's internal that just it just works for me. And so I moved with my family in 2000 to Alabama, and me and my brother were juniors in high school. Me and my twin brother. And anyway, we went out for spring training in football, and one of the biggest guys out there, he was 6'3", 240. He was a running back. He took a toss sweep to the right. He planted his right foot and turned to cut up field. And I was coming up from the safety position. And I just left my feet and hit this dude right in the chest as hard as I could hit him. I knocked him off his feet.
Oh my.
And he jumped up. Well, he jumped up and he realized who hit him, and he saw how little I was. And I heard him. He went back to the huddle at guys and he said, "Give me the damn ball again. I'm going to run this dude over." So I heard what he said and I thought, "No shit, let's do this." So he took another toss sweep and I knew he was coming, man. He hit me like a Mack truck, and he blew me up into 1,000 pieces. I actually didn't tell him this, but I got up and I had that little ringing in my ear, and I couldn't really orient where I was. Yeah, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't speak or whatever. But anyway, I tell you that because that earned me a starting spot at strong side linebacker.
Wow.
I started at a 6A program as a little guy. And so anyway, that kind of let me know, that I was a guy who's just never going to quit. And I took that into my adulthood with the same mentality. I started playing competitive flag football. That was my big thing before I found pickleball. So 5 years ago, I'm playing flag football. I come down to Orlando, Florida to go to the National Flag Football Tournament. Okay. I'm there with a whole group of young athletes, and we're competing in that. And just 3 months prior, I had found pickleball for the first time. And I was so obsessed with pickleball in January. I found it in October 2016. In January, when we went down to Orlando, every free moment I had, I went to Clear One. I went to every spot I could find. And I was just only thinking about that. And that's when I realized, I think I'm going to try to pursue something with pickleball. I didn't know what at that time. Yeah. But 5 years later, as you can see, I dove in head first. The guys, I actually have a live stream video at Clear One. Probably it was January 2017. I woke up on a Saturday morning. We were going to play in the playoffs that afternoon. And I woke up and told the guys, "Hey, I need the rental car. I'm going to go play pickleball." And they said, "What the hell is pickleball?" And I said, these are like 21-year-old black guys that are there for football. And I'm like, "Well, do you want to come with me and find out?" And so 2 of them came with me to Clear One. They had no idea what they were watching, but one of the guys had my phone and was commentating, and he was like calling me the Golden Torpedo because that was my nickname in football. And it was hysterical. I still have that video.
I think I saw it. Is it on your channel?
We'll put it
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
under the link.
Yeah,
The link to
yeah,
the
you'll have to
YouTube,
give it to us
see
because
it. Yeah.
I think I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, so that's how I saw some of your history, and I like what you said about the hard work because people think that this 50 is just a number, right? Oh, it's just a number. It takes a lot of work to get there, man. It takes a lot of work. So how did you get up to that 50 level? Like, what did you start doing? Did you take lessons?
Yeah, and you have no racket sport,
No racket sports in the background.
right?
So
Yeah, no racket sports. I kick my parents verbally sometimes, telling them like, "Come on, why didn't you let me play tennis when I was a kid? Like, come on, man." But yeah, no, I always played team sports, and so when I found pickleball, I realized how much I sucked at hitting a wiffle ball over the net when I first started playing. But what I did was I beat up on a lot of like 60 plus 3-0s, and that made me feel good. And when you feel good, you want to keep doing that. You want that feeling more. So within about 100%, man. I got some funny stories when I started traveling, and I would go to these random like hole in the wall gymnasiums, and I show up, and I'm the only 32-year-old coming to play pickleball, and it's like all 60 plus men and women, like retired. Just
That's my story too.
He's body
Scott,
bagging him. He's chest bumping and body bagging people.
No question. No question. At that time, my awareness was zero. I just wanted to win at all costs. Yeah. Me and Joey, I tell you what, guys, if me and Joey would have showed up at the same gymnasium, there's no doubt in my mind we would have teamed up and destroyed every one of those 3-0s. But yeah, after about 3 or 4 months of playing locally, great group of people in Alabama, but I quickly realized, I'm 32, I'm an athlete. I know I can get better at this. So naturally, I started investigating where else I could go to play better players. And that led me to March of 2017. I played my first tournament in Nashville. I was a 3.5, an athletic 3.5. I would love to say that that I stayed at 3.5 for a few months or something, but I didn't. I played one tournament at 3.5. I pretty much won gold in everything, and I said, okay, I'm gonna challenge myself. So I went to 4.0. I did well at 4.0, and then I said, okay, I'm really gonna take a butt whipping. So I moved up to 4.5 after probably about 3 tournaments at 4.0. And that's where I kind of hit the wall. I hit that wall at 4.5. I realized, like Joey's still trying to realize, you can't smash the ball through 4.5 and 5.0 players. I'm just kidding, Joey.
Let me chime in real quick, because your origin story about flag football, the way you move on the court, because I was breaking down tape, you Ernie so well. I gravitate towards the middle. If you watch Scott play, he Ernie so well. He moves so well. He doesn't have the flick like Mark. He doesn't have any weapon, but his movement on the court. And guys, Scott Golden coaches too. So Scott, if you want to give yourself a quick pitch for coaching, I would love to take a lesson. I give lessons, but your movement, positioning, I envy it. It's pretty cool.
That's good. Well, that's the athleticism, right? Like that's, I like what you said there is that, okay, I'm an athlete. I know I can get better. So you put the work in. And so are you married, by the way? I don't know if I asked that.
Ironically, I was married for 8 years from 2008 to 2016. I got divorced, and 3 weeks after my divorce. Yeah, 3 weeks after the divorce, I found pickleball. So I think it was just
that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Brothers from another mother.
I think Joey's my long lost brother.
We gotta play a tournament.
Sorry, not to bring up salty wounds, man. Sorry about that. No, I didn't. I was gonna make a comment. I'm like, you must have a very, friendly spouse there that is gonna let you play all these tournaments, man. Like I got to get a hall pass a couple months in advance, man. With 5 kids and a full-time job, in a marriage that I got to keep healthy. It's like
absolutely
100 tournaments. I don't know if I'll play 100 tournaments in 10 years. I don't think I can even do that.
Well, I will say that at 32, when I went through that divorce, at the time, it didn't seem like a good thing or anything like that, obviously, but it was a silver lining in my life. It gave me an opportunity to, take a step back and not to get too deep or too, philosophical, but it allowed me the opportunity to slow down, take a look at my life and say, what do I want to do with the second half of my life? And I was searching a lot at that time. And I really believe that pickleball came into my life at the perfect time where I could invest my time, energy, and resources into something that was healthy, that was positive, that was constructive, and that really helped take my focus off of where I was currently in my personal life, and just allowed me to pour that energy into something fantastic. And through that journey, I believe I still have a long way to go, but I really truly believe that pickleball put me in a direction that has changed my life. And now at 36, turning 37 next month, I feel just blessed and honored to be a part of the pickleball community. I have had some unbelievable, amazing opportunities that we're going to probably talk about with my signature paddle that I've got sold at Dick's Sporting Goods and all those things that happen. But I really believe that it was meant for me to get into the sport at the time I did. I was single at that time, no kids. I'm not like Keith. I don't have 5 kids and a wife. So
you just told my story, Scott. I had a tear coming down my eye. I got divorced 32, no kids. What lawyer did you have?
You know what? I was smart. I told my wife, if you want a divorce, I said, you're paying for it. And she did.
Hey, tell us a little bit about your paddle from Dick's. You brought it up. Why don't you go ahead? Yeah.
Hold on. So walk me through. Let's get to the paddle, but I want to see, how did you step up to that where you became popular enough to even have that conversation? So you started winning at 3-5, you started winning at 4-0, and then, okay, I'm going to start playing 5-0. So now you have to work to get to 5-0 because people don't give paddles to hacks. People don't give paddles to 3-5s. So you had to do something or make relationships that matter. So walk us through, you started doing that and then you started doing all these tournaments. How'd the relationships start? Like what relationships started, and take us through that.
Well, I do want to also say, as I tell this story, that I still sometimes scratch my head as to how I was put in a situation and an opportunity to be able to talk about having a paddle sold at Dick's Sporting Goods exclusively and all that stuff. So anything I talk about, it comes from a very much a place of humbleness and
gratitude.
Gratitude. Yeah. I mean, I was at a very, very low point when I found pickleball. I mean, I can laugh about this stuff now, but at the time it really wasn't funny. I mean, I was living it. Yeah. But I mean, I was living in my parents' basement, wondering every night. Yeah.
I swear you guys are brothers. I don't know what's going on here.
I mean, I think it's not uncommon to have people relate to divorce, but to be 32 and no kids and go through a divorce living at your parents' house, that's pretty specific.
Well, and so you started meeting some people, you started getting, now you got a great personality. I love the humility. I think that's probably one of the reasons right there is that, hey man, this guy's great. He cares. He's at all these tournaments, right? So they're always thinking ambassadorship, whatever. But so as you started meeting these pros and the relationship started again, where did that start happening? Like how soon?
Okay. So, March 2017, I played that first tournament at 3-5. From the very beginning, my second day ever playing pickleball, I live streamed. So I live streamed from day one, and that over that process of 3 years, people started kind of paying attention. It takes a while, but I also want to say that Glenn Lucy was my biggest pain in my butt in the beginning. He would just clobber me on all my Facebook stuff, all my live streams. He would be like, this is garbage pickleball. Like, why are you wasting people's time? Like, so I went through a lot of BS with like guys like Glenn Lucy in the beginning, and I say that lovingly now because Glenn Lucy and I have a decent relationship at this point. But there was a time where if I would have seen that dude in person at a tournament, I probably would have punched him in the nose. But we worked through those things. And eventually, as I got better, he started hassling me as I got better and more confident. So I told him right before Nationals in 2018, I said, hey, buddy, I said, you need to chill out on my stuff. And I said, you've never met me in person and you don't know if I'm good or not because you've only watched me on video. I said, I'm going to come to Nationals. I'm going to come into California, your state. I said, I'm going to whip your ass in some pickleball games. And I said, then we can talk after that. And I went to nationals. And I whipped his butt in some pickup games, and from that point on, man, he showed me nothing but respect and all that. But why am I telling that story? Well, that journey. If at any point in that journey of getting to 5.0, if I would have given up on my dreams and my goals of becoming something, or if I would have let Glenn Lucy tell me I'm no good and I'm never going to be a pro or something like that.
That's quite surprising, because usually the people who attack others and say looks like 3-0 to me, whatever you publish, they would say like looks 3-0 to me, or 3-5 or whatever.
3-5 at best.
Yeah.
3-5
at best. Yeah. I usually look them up, and usually all of them are like
we
nobody.
troll our trolls.
Like
we
maybe they never played a single tournament, or they like played one tournament and they were like 3-0 or something. So that's not typical for some high-level player to attack like other videos.
Yeah, I think Glenn was just jealous that I was gaining some attention without being a pro. But
well,
I will
that's
say,
the thing. Like the streaming does do that, right? Like, I mean, you look at social media, you look at this reality TV we have going now on YouTube. It gives a platform to people that a lot of people use it irresponsibly, but there's millions of people doing it, right? There's millions of people streaming.
right.
But pickleball is really kind of behind. As long as it's been around, it's a shock to me that it's just now really becoming mainstream. And I definitely believe it'll be in the Olympics one day, right? It's going to be one of the Olympic sports because it fits with ping pong, it fits with tennis, it fits with badminton, it fits with all those sports that are already in the Olympics. So as it grows in popularity, it's going to be pretty amazing. But so as that relationship started developing and you started working towards that, you started challenging them and started doing that. So then next is all of a sudden now you have your own signature paddle with Dick Sporting Goods, right? You're sponsored by Monarch, and the list of your sponsorships, bro, like, I don't know who, like, to your point, like you're like a politician, man. Like everybody wants to have a piece of the golden boy. So tell us about that.
So I'll bring it full circle, because sometimes my stories do go a little wide, and then I try to bring it back. But
man.
There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and the way it all fits together, it does eventually fit together. But as I'm going through that journey, in 2017, I played like 35 tournaments. I killed it. I was gone every weekend. Actually, I had a girlfriend at that time after my divorce, and it didn't last that long because she's like,
not a pickleball player.
She wasn't. And it was like, without her directly saying it, it was like, you're either going to pick pickleball or me. And I was like, yeah. So, no, it wasn't like that, but
don't lie.
But I did choose to continue traveling and playing. So I guess that was my answer to her. Yeah. So, but here's what I want you guys to know about this journey that I've been on. When I started in pickleball, I knew I wanted to do something big. I had big goals, big dreams, big visions, but I didn't know how it would all fit together. So in 2017, I spent well over, I'm not exaggerating. I spent well over $10,000 out of my own pocket, just traveling the country, playing tournaments, networking, meeting people. When they say putting the rubber to the road, I truly did that. I cannot tell you the number of times I got off. I was working in landscaping at the time. I was working 4-10s. So Monday through Thursday, I was working long, hot days in the sun in Alabama. And the number of times where I would get off work, run home, shower, eat something, and I would hit the road at midnight on Thursday. And I would get to my destination 6 hours later, 7 hours later, play all weekend, singles, doubles, mixed doubles. And on Sunday night, I would be commentating because usually I would get put out of the tournament right before the gold medal match. And then I would turn the camera on and I would commentate for the people that just beat me. And what I tell people is that back then when I was doing that, I literally did it because I loved the sport. It wasn't for money. It wasn't for fame. It wasn't to get popular. It was because I truly valued what I was watching, and I wanted other people to also be able to value and see what I was seeing. So it was tough. It was tough because then I'd finish, the last game would finish up. I'd get all my stuff together, and then I would realize holy cow, I've got a 6-hour drive back home Sunday night. And I'd have to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. So I would literally drive through the night, and I would get home. I'd sleep for about 30 minutes, and I'd get up and I'd work a 10-hour day and do it all again. So people don't see that stuff. People don't know the work that has to be put in to get the opportunities that I've gotten. Now, did I luck up and be the right person at the right time? Maybe, but the journey for me has been faith, right? Putting my efforts and energy into something where I didn't know what the end result would be at the end of the day. My parents questioned me, my brothers questioned me, my friends questioned me, certainly my girlfriend at the time questioned me, but I knew what I needed to do, and I knew what it was going to take, and I wasn't willing to sacrifice or compromise on those things. Now, April of 2018, I've been putting the work in for almost a year and a half at this point, and I was living with that girl, and I remember vividly it was $1,200 that I spent to go to the U.S. Open. It was April of 2018. It was going to be my first U.S. Open. I remember she was fighting with me, guys. She was fighting with me about not going. She just didn't want me to go. And I said, listen, I'm going. I said, this is a big tournament. It's an opportunity for me to network and meet some people that I need to meet. So I went. I was broke. I mean, I didn't have, when I got down there, I didn't have much money in my bank account. So I fly down there. The girl breaks up with me. We broke up while I was there. But one day I'm just walking around the facility at the US Open in Naples barefoot. It was my day off. I didn't get into mixed doubles. So I was walking around. I was drinking I was drinking a beer, and I was just kind of like barefoot walking around. And this guy, Riley Burgess, comes up to me and he's like, oh, well, actually, I was walking through the tent. Okay. The big vendor tents. And the first vendor on the right was Monarch. Okay. And at April of 2018, nobody knew who Monarch was. Nobody.
Right.
Everybody was like, who the heck is this company? So there was a bunch of young guys in there, young, people working for Monarch in there. So I just started talking with them. And the guy, Riley, was in the vendor booth, and he goes, what's your name? And I said, Scott Golden. I said, this is cheesy. I said, but they call me the Golden Boy. And he smiled, and he looked at me, he goes, I know who you are. He goes, you got a big following on social media. And I was like, well, I guess, So he said, hey, I want to buy you lunch. I want to chat with you about some stuff. So I said, sure, no problem.
Food, heck yeah.
Free food. So that later that afternoon, he buys me lunch. We sit down one-on-one, and this is where the magic started to happen. Because at this point, I'm broke. I've been traveling, spending, too much money on pickleball. I'm at the point where I'm going to either have to get a sponsor, or I'm going to have to, basically get 3 jobs to support my habit. So
like an addiction.
I sound like a drug addict, but it's a pickleball addict. So as I'm talking to Riley, he says to me, well, hey, listen, Monarch is owned by Dick's Sporting Goods. Dick's Sporting Goods sees the sport growing. They're wanting to get involved, and we're looking for somebody unique, somebody special. We don't want the Ben Johns of the world. We want somebody that has a good blend of personality, social media presence, and is a good up and coming player that if you medal, if you get on the podium, that's a bonus. Okay. So in my head, of course I played it cool, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm the perfect guy for this company, but I played it cool. I didn't say much. I was like, all right, that sounds good. So he was like, look, I'm new to pickleball. I'm new to the company. I don't know exactly how this is all going to work, but be patient. When we leave the US Open and get back home, I'll follow up with you and we'll see where this goes. So I was super excited because I knew that was the divine meeting that I needed to solidify all my decisions for the last year and a half.
You're right.
Right. All the people doubting, all the people questioning me, all the times where I lost sleep because I had to drive back, all those things. in that moment, I realized it was worth it for me, not for everybody,
right?
But for me, I said, God, this is what I've been looking for, a break, an opportunity. So that was April, May, June, July, end of June, beginning of July of 2018, I signed the deal on paper.
That's awesome.
And when I tell you guys, I couldn't have asked or scripted a better contract with a company in pickleball. It was the perfect fit for them. It was the perfect fit for me.
And they're a new player in the game, so they're new to pickleball, and you had been around for a while and knew a bunch of people, and your networking was huge. Your social network was huge. So they're gaining immediate exposure from, oh, look, I'm playing with this, I'm doing this, and 10,000 people are seeing it.
Absolutely. And one of the really important things that he said to me that really intrigued me the most was, he said, Scott, we don't want you to change anything that you're doing right now. We just want to. Yeah, exactly. Unlike my girlfriend. I hope she watches this. No, I'm just kidding.
We actually have her coming on. And Glenn Lewis is going to come on too.
Surprise guest, the ex.
Now that would be pretty funny if you brought Glenn Lucy on. But at that time, he said to me, we don't want you to change anything that you're doing currently. We just want to slap our logos on you, and we want to back you financially and allow you to really do what you're doing on a bigger scale. So after I signed that deal, this is a cool side story on it. I'm at a tournament when he calls me that tells me that the deal's been complete. Like he had to get approval from the executives at Dick's Sporting Goods, right? So he had to do this whole sales pitch, and he had to basically
sell you,
pave the road and sell me. It was this whole thing. I'm telling you, it was a big ordeal. It took 3 months. And I'm sitting at Waffle House by myself at a tournament on a Sunday morning. I'm about to go play. It's probably like 7:00 in the morning. I've got to play at 8. And he calls me and he goes, hey man, are you sitting down? I said, yeah, I'm sitting down. I'm actually eating Waffle House. He's like, okay, cool. He said, well, we got the deal done. And I said, oh man, that's great. That's great. And he said, I got a little bonus to tell you. I'm like, okay, what is it? He said, we are going to give you a huge signing bonus just for signing with the company. And I was like, excuse me? And he said, yeah, not only is it going to be a big signing bonus, but every year that you re-sign, it'll grow and get bigger as the sport grows and as Monarch does well. And I'm like, is this a joke? I'm like, are you messing with me here? He's like, no. I said, we didn't even discuss this. He said, yeah, I don't know. He said the executives wanted to like congratulate you or whatever. So that was crazy. And then the signature paddle deal came a little after I signed. So when I was signing, I told Riley, hey, one of my ultimate goals is to have a Golden Boy pickleball paddle. And he's like, well, it's year one. Let's just be patient. Like that might be down the road. Well, then it got expedited because the paddle was just a proto. It was just a prototype. All right.
That's a prototype.
This was the first paddle that I ever actually used. But at the time, this paddle was completely black, no graphics. And it was the elongated paddle with a short handle. And I said, man, that paddle would be perfect for marketing because we could call it the Golden Axe. They were already looking at calling it the Axe because everything that they do. I think they're changing it now for 2022, but at that time it was all medieval themed. So the axe, the hammer, the whatever else, the gold crown jewel, all that stuff is themed around that. So when he showed me the paddle, it was completely black. And then he said, we're going to call it the Axe. I said, man, this is the perfect setup. My last name's Golden. It's great for marketing. Why don't we put the Golden Axe as a signature paddle for me? So that's where it kind of like started. And then of course they got my feedback. We went back and forth on a lot of stuff. And so I was able to be a part of the beginning of a paddle that ended up being a paddle that is my paddle. And ironically, it was surreal because when it came out, I moved down to Florida to work for Simone, which was another crazy thing because I was living in Alabama. I was still working in landscaping, and I'm like burned out. I'm ready to quit. And Simone calls me on the phone one day randomly and asked me if I wanted to move down to Naples, Florida to work for her pickleball academy. And I was like, can I start tomorrow? Like, I'm ready to go. And so that was in 2019. But see, all of these things started happening.
Yeah.
But the catalyst, really and truly, I have to give credit to Riley Burgess and Monarch, because without their support, without them believing in me at that time, I probably wouldn't have had the success that I have at this point. If you want to call it
right?
success.
If you'd have stayed home and not gone to the US Open that year, we're telling a different story right here. And you're probably not being interviewed by us, right? Like now,
100%.
It's amazing because you are now part of pickleball history, right? Like, I mean, have you ever taken a step back and just thought about that? It's like, okay, I am now going to be in the history books, a signature paddle. Somebody, you're a commentator.
Did you provide any specs for the new paddle, or it's like whatever it was, and you just
they were already working on that original prototype. I have helped them with things as the paddle has evolved. So this was a prototype they sent me that got approved, and then so you see it had some paint issues, right? So I was playing with this. I think I beat Joey with this one, actually.
I can't. It may have been another Joey. I have an identical twin too, Scott.
I'm just kidding, Joey. I don't remember.
Oh, you can kid all you want. I love it. I love it.
But this is a brand new one. This one, one of the biggest things that I helped with, to be completely honest, when this first gold one came out, the handle was 4 inches.
Yeah.
So it was a little too short. I don't mind a short handle, but it was a little bit too short. So two improvements that I really helped suggest, that we went to a slightly longer handle, not much. I think this one's maybe 4 1/4, something like that.
Yeah.
And then you see this has got graphite.
Yeah.
So this is graphite. There's no edge guard. There's no plastic edge guard.
About to say, it's an edgeless paddle, right? So it doesn't.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
But
it's
actually.
Yeah, exactly, Mark. This is a very unique paddle because there's not very many thick paddles with no edge guard.
Wow.
The ones that you see currently are very thin, like the gearboxes of the world, Diadem, all those. So this is a very unique. Yeah, ProKinetics. This is a very unique paddle. Yep. Somebody asked me why my actual name's not on this. It says Golden Axe right there, but the reason they wouldn't put my actual name on it, they're a corporate company that does $8 billion a year.
Yeah.
And so they do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be happy you have a paddle, man. Don't ask for more.
Well, yeah, but it makes sense though, because if they want to continue selling the Golden Axe, which is actually a cool name,
really
and I just quit playing pickleball, they could continue using that. So
awesome.
They're very smart.
Is that one out? Is that paddle right there is already out in stores?
So I have to tell you guys, this is my custom paddle. Like this one will not be like sold to everyone. But the one with it looks the exact same. It's all the exact same, but it still has an edge guard. That's the one that they currently sell in stores.
So it's just too technologically challenging to do like without the edge guard, right?
Yeah, well, mainly they just wanted to shut me up and have me stop complaining about the edge guard coming off the paddle so much. But I don't know that one makes sense financially for them to sell in stores. So we'll see what happens. Maybe
how much
do
you want for it, Scott?
Yeah,
so
they're not going to sell it at all. It's going to be just like a custom paddle that's just for you, or are they going to do like select?
No, they do the same, just with different edge guard.
Right. It's just not the one that's sold. If you walked into Dick's Sporting Goods right now and bought my paddle, it would have a black edge guard on it. That's the only difference.
And it's the same paddle though.
Yes, it's the same paddle. Yeah.
Without
so, you can remove an edge guard.
Yeah, I don't know how.
That's easy.
I don't know how
that so man, that's just really cool, man. That's just and so after that, so you got Monarch, and then I'm reading your other um sponsorships here. So you got Pickle Play, Tyrol Pickleball Shoes, Jigsaw Health, Today in Pickleball. It did like how did they just start falling out of the sky like as you started doing the PPR stuff? Like how did the rest of the ones come?
Yeah, so the big catalyst was Monarch. Then that followed up with Simone allowing me an opportunity to come down to Florida and work for her. Obviously, she's the #1 female player in the world. So when you get an invite from her, it's
yes.
a big deal. Yeah, you say yes, and it's a big deal. Yeah. And quite honestly, I don't work for them anymore. I actually moved over to the East Coast of Florida. I live in Pompano Beach now.
Okay.
But she was the reason that I moved to Florida in the first place. And now I'm obsessed with Florida. I love it. And all my friends in the Midwest that keep asking me why I'm not coming to see them in the Midwest. I'm just saying, Florida, I live in Florida. There's no reason to leave.
Man.
Okay, let me ask you one quick question, Scott. How do you pronounce Simone's last name?
It's now I'm a country white boy from Alabama, but it's Jargine. Yeah,
Jargine.
Yeah.
Jargine. Okay.
Yeah, Jargine. And they actually
I love the commercials. I love the Jigsaw commercials. They've done a really good job with that. And he's like these stupid Americans can't say the name right, something like that in the commercial.
I love it.
They
do a phenomenal job with those. I always
so because of the Simone exposure, is that where the other sponsorships came from? Like,
so to be real honest, Keith, I think it was a combination of all of it put together. It's like the perfect storm. And what I found out was, and this is, I guess, I don't know how you would say it, but basically when the things line up the right way and you've put the work in, you've put the time, and people know that you're serious and they know that you're the real deal and that you're not just a fly by night. It takes years sometimes, like it did for me. But once you hit that breakthrough and once you kind of get the first company or the first person to take a chance on you and you perform, you execute, you deliver, then things get a lot easier from that point on. And what I found is I'm now, I guess I'm no big deal at all, guys, honestly, but
you're not that special, Scott.
Exactly. Outside, one time I tried to get a free meal at Waffle House, and I told them I was the golden boy. They didn't even.
Well, at first I thought, when you actually subscribed to our channel, I saw the golden boy, and I was like, De La Hoya?
Keith called me. He was so excited.
like,
look, the golden boy. Like, oh wait, this is a pickleball guy.
Yeah, I've been asked several times if De La Hoya's sued me for using his name, but I'm like, first of all, this guy doesn't give a crap about me. Second of all, it's Golden Boy, not
a
Golden Boy
pickle. First, sue him.
Exactly.
Just to do it, get publicity.
I love it.
Get out in front of the situation.
That's awesome, right, man. That's awesome,
yeah.
Man. Well, this is just really cool, and I thanks so much for telling us that story, man. That's just a great. I think people don't realize how much work it takes. You do have the tennis guys that come in that were 5.0 plus tennis players. They walk in at 5.0, right? Like what I've understood about tennis players.
More like 4.5, but still.
I was told if you're a 5.0 tennis player,
best.
You're considered a 5.0 pickleball player out the court. Tony Giannotti, he's same thing. He was a 5.0 tennis player. He was immediately ranked 5.0 when he came into pickleball and got signed with Engage originally. So it's just amazing to hear somebody like, I did not play racket sports and I've busted my tail and done all this work to get to where I'm at. And like you said, it's like, if you're not a natural racket player, it does take a little bit longer. It does take a little bit longer to learn the movements and the thought process, and not like these two guys, they, ping pong and tennis and all this junk. And I'm like, I played like 6-7 different sports and none of them were racket sports. I was self-taught in tennis, but
right.
That's some amazing stuff. So, well, thank you so much for sharing that. And I think we got some fun stuff for you. I think Joey's got some stuff queued up that we want to just show you and laugh a little with you.
I got a couple of things. First, I'm going to show this. This is hilarious. And this is on Scott's Snapchat, but let me share my screen. So
you're talking about the TikTok, right?
This is now, when did this happen? I'm playing this video right now. Let me blow it up for you. Let me get this.
Oh, this is good. This one's good.
When did this happen?
So we
Punta
play
Gorda,
at
probably.
Coral Springs. It looks like Punta Gorda, but it's actually Coral Springs.
But watch what Scott does after this. This is the funniest part. All right.
So in real time, I'm actually like 100% making fun of Megan Hall right there, because when the lob goes up over you, typically you go to the other side. Like if your partner's going to get the ball, you shift. Well, she just sat there, and then that guy Matt didn't even look. He just hit it and hit her in the butt. So it's pretty funny. And that video actually got 380,000 views, which is way more than any of my other videos I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Wow.
So guys, go to his TikTok and follow him on Facebook. And okay, so this is the other thing. Now this is from a tournament. I believe it was 6 months ago. That's 3 controversial points. If I could enunciate, this is the first one. So this is actually a really good match. We're going to release this on the channel this week. This is actually really. Who are you playing with, Scott?
That's Shiv. Yeah, Shiv.
He's a very good player too.
Yeah, Shiv is very good.
Yeah. And watch Scott Ernie here, guys. He moves so well. So I slowed this down. Now, Mark, do you think this ball hit
No,
Sam?
I don't think
It's
so,
really
yeah.
tough to see. Let me put it in slow motion. But this is the first one. What do you think, Mark? It's so tough to tell. You can't really tell.
Oh, guys, that definitely hit his right nipple. It definitely hit the right nipple.
I thought I saw him smile there, so that would explain it.
So here's the second controversial point. This was a fun match. Was this in or out?
That was
It's
too
so
fast. I
close.
didn't know where it was hitting. Did you slow it down?
I slowed it down.
It looked out to me. In the
think
fast
I think
glance.
I put it. It may have caught the line. It's actually
That's
really tough.
That
And
was
this is
it.
the third.
looks
This
out,
is the
yeah.
third point, and I
That was
think
out.
this definitely hit Sam because I remember watching this live.
Oh, this one, do you have it slow? Because
Yeah, it'll go
I think
slow.
this is where confusion is.
Yeah, let me know what you think, Mark.
Well, I wonder if it hit his elbow brace. That's why
It
he
did.
didn't feel it.
I think it did, but I really don't
No,
rule
it
against
looks
my
like
partner.
it hit his
Joey, you're looking a little beefy
T-shirt.
there, man. You're a little bit of water weight there, Bubba. You're a little bloated, man.
All right, here's slow
Here, here,
mo. I think that definitely hit his shoulder.
It looked like it hit his wrist or something like that. So
That is fantastic, Joey. That stirs up a lot of emotions for me.
You look a little mad there. You look a little mad.
Well, and when I loosely I say stirs up emotions, some good, some bad. I will say that my beef was not with Joey in that one. That was all me and Sam.
Sam hears that a lot, Scott.
He evokes a lot of anger towards people, apparently.
I had never met Sam before. I knew who Joey was. But that dude, Sam, and we definitely didn't get off on the right foot. I don't know if it was just the way
It's not just you.
Well, he's also a baseball guy too. So
Sam actually is a very nice guy, but he takes a lot of things personally, I would say. Like,
well, he was a high level baseball player. I mean, didn't he go to college and play baseball in college? And so, like,
I love the kid. Yeah,
when those guys get that competitive level, like, there's an intensity that when you're in the game, that some people just don't ever can never switch it off, right?
Well, and I've been told by a few people that I can be a little intense on the court as well. So
you have to be. I'm the same way, Scott.
Come on.
I know. The surprising thing about Joey is super intense, but he will be the first person to compliment a shot from the opponent. He'll be the first to like call himself on something if he does something dumb or whatever on the court. Like, I got to give Joey credit there, because if people don't know Joey and like they just see Joey on the court, they would think this guy's a maniac, man. He's running around everywhere. He's trying to crush the ball in people's face, But Joey, you're a great guy, man, and it's always fun to play you.
Yeah, man,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to play you in the future. But yeah, just watching your game, the way you move, the way you Ernie, I learned a lot just from watching your footage. So I appreciate everything you've done for pickleball. Yeah. So thank you.
Right. Yeah. So you were talking about Joey and his complimentary, complimenting his partners and how, he's really funny, super intense, but I just want to show you a little clip here. Can you guys see the screen? Are we watching the pickleball screen? So good. Joey's playing in the Open. And he's playing with our friend Ankush. And Joey is one of the nicest guys, one fun to play with, but I don't know if he was too complimentary on this shot for Ankush. So let's just watch this a second and get your take on this.
I'm never playing with Ankush again.
So he lobs it. Joey comes up to the net. Hold on. I just love his face. Let's see.
This never gets old.
It never gets old, but you got to look at the betrayal on his face.
That ball was
awesome. One more time. Let's see if I can catch this at the right time. 1, 2, 3. He looked
right there,
so angry. It looked so angry. And then you got up. You're like, why are you hitting it over me, man? And then you're apologizing there, Joey. But I just thought it was funny so much the way you look. But complimenting people in there. So one last thing though, I'd love to just talk about like as you were coming up. Was there a particular shot you struggled with? Like you earning a lot, but did that come from just your athleticism? Did you need to do it? Like, how did you evolve in that? Like, what shot were you struggling with, if any? Like what was the hardest shot for you to get good at and learn?
Yeah, definitely. Well, my personality, the way I am, I do everything 110%. I go all in. So naturally, as I started learning more about pickleball, I started learning about the shots, the ATPs, the Ernies, the nasty Nelsons. So, of course, that stuff is very intriguing. It's always entertaining to see. But you have to kind of know what you're doing. You have to kind of be confident doing it. So as I was getting better, I remember I was playing in a 4.5 tournament in Nashville. My buddy Andrew Felsenthal was a D1 college tennis player, came from Alabama. He was clearly the better. This is what's funny. He was much, much better than me, way more skilled. But fortunately for us, people didn't know who Andrew was. It was his first, maybe second tournament, and everybody knew me. They knew how wild and crazy I was. So they went after Andrew, and he just completely blistered every team out there. By the time they figured out how good he was, it was too late. The score was already run up on him. So we blew through the competition, except for one team, and that was my buddy Steven Gritch, and I think it was Rick Hobson. They had played tons of rec games with me. So they knew my weakness, and anybody that knows my game at that time, they knew it was my backhand. So my backhand dink was I was super uncomfortable with that shot. The teams that would really beat me bad, they could drop the ball in soft, like right at my left foot, and the ball would kind of skip out on me a little bit, and it would kind of kick away from me. And I was just not comfortable. And then if I ever got into a cross court dink with a tennis player that could slice the backhand dink, I was screwed. I had no answer. I would either lob it. I would either lob the first dink that they did that to me, or I would try to run around the backhand and try to hit a forehand, which pulled me off the court and just totally screwed everything up. So I remember walking away from that tournament. That was the only match we lost, but we won the gold. So it was a weird feeling.
The golden boy.
Yeah. At that time, if I wasn't winning gold, they would call me silver boy. So I just had to keep winning. But I remember it was a weird feeling, guys, because I was on the podium. I got the gold medal and I'm sitting there, but in my head, like everybody's congratulating me and I'm supposed to feel good, but I felt this big. And the reason is because I'm a competitor. I don't like losing, and I damn sure don't like somebody picking on me. And I realized my buddies hit every ball to my backhand. I mean, in the middle of that match, I was so embarrassed. Everybody was crowded around watching, and it was an embarrassing moment in my pickleball journey, because I was like, man, I suck. But more than just saying that I sucked, I knew it was my backhand that was my weakness. So I went back home and I said, all right, if people are going to hit at me and I'm going to be the one that's getting picked on, I'm going to learn to Ernie, because the reason it made sense to me in my head, nobody taught me this. I just thought about it logically. It's if I hit a ball to you, Keith, and you're straight across from me and I'm the weaker player, and I know that you're going to try to target my backhand, then I'm going to hit it to your forehand. And when you dip your head, when you drop to hit that ball back to me, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're going to hit it to that spot that I'm thinking you're going to, which is my backhand. And then I'm going to be flying through the air with my big golden axe, and I'm going to put it right into your chest.
Right. He does it so well. You did that to me so many times.
Yeah. And so
I hate you.
Joey, man, I can't tell you how much satisfaction I got hitting Ernie's on you, brother.
well, you know what? Joey's got his hands are so fast. It's really hard to get a body bag on or to get it past his hands.
That's why I never keep my paddle up. I try to give, it's a handicap. I just keep it down.
That's awesome. So how did you get out of the backhand? So would you just practice, just drill with people?
Yeah. So I came out of that tournament. I spent 3 solid months drilling my backhand. Was not going to have that be my weakest shot anymore. It wasn't that I wanted to be my best shot. I just didn't want people to be able to pick on it anymore and know that was the chink in my armor. So I'm still not great at my backhand dink, but as you could see, like on the video they showed, I'm proficient. I'm not great at it, but I can hold my own now. Matter of fact, I played Ben Johns and Colin Johns at the Phoenix tournament recently. Wow. And again, I played them twice, but anyway, we scored 6 points against Ben and Colin. And
that's impressive.
Yeah, I've had some good points with him. Now, I'm going to go on record and say that he was not at all concerned about losing to me. He knew it was not going to be an issue, but
you were the
but
channel.
It was fun.
You were the channel. That's awesome, man. Well, Scott, thank you so much for coming on with us and telling us your story, man. I love hearing it and love seeing your success. We're a fan. We all subscribe to your channels. We love watching your stuff and just really, really enjoy you, man. So just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the channel.
Absolutely. And I want to extend the same shout out and thank you to you guys for having me on the show. The Pickleball Pirates, man, you guys have fun. You're out there in front of social media. You're trying to do new and innovative things. And I really like what you guys do when you get together and you like review a game, a match. That is where you really get to see your personalities come out and you guys get to pick at each other. And that's just fun. I love a good sense of humor from people who are in pickleball. So
yeah, we got to have you on again. Maybe we'll review some points, analyze, throw it on both channels. That'd be fun.
We'd love to do that. Also, what we'd love to do with you is probably have something on here, and then we can commentate together. We'll play a match, and then we'll commentate with you.
Scott, he commentates for the PPAs.
Dude, I love it.
Why not?
I love it.
Why not? You're saying we can't hang? You're saying we can't hang? There's gaps in between there. I can make up stuff too.
I love it. No, you guys are great.
Well, thanks, man. And YouTube, thank you so much. You know what? Go out, follow him on social media, get his YouTube channel. He's a great, great guy. You get to see it here and hear his story here on the Pirates. And we love you guys. Thank you, YouTube. We'll see you later.